Hello and welcome. My name is Anna. Today, we're learning something simple but powerful. Phrases you can use in everyday English. Not long grammar lessons. Not difficult textbook rules. Just real English. The kind of English people use in cafes, on the street, at school, and with friends. These are short expressions, full of feeling, and they help you sound natural and confident. They're not just about vocabulary. They're about connection. Because when you react with feeling, you make the conversation come alive. Let's begin with reactions. These are the small things we say when something happens, good or bad. When someone tells you exciting news or something sad. When you feel surprised, happy, or even confused. For example, your friend says, "I got the job." You could just say, "Good," but that sounds cold. It doesn't feel friendly or sincere. Instead, imagine saying, "No way, that's amazing." It feels real. It feels alive. You're not just speaking, you're feeling. Our first phrase is "no way." It means you're shocked or surprised. You can use it for good news or something unbelievable. If your friend says, "I met Taylor Swift," you can respond with "no way." Or if someone says, "We won the contest," you could say, "No way, that's amazing." It's simple, expressive, and very common in daily English. Next, try "you're kidding." This phrase also shows surprise, and it's often used when something is funny or hard to believe. For instance, if your coworker says, "I wore 2 different shoes today," you might laugh and say, "You're kidding, that's so funny." Or if your classmate says, "I forgot my exam was today," you could say, "You're kidding. That's rough." It's a soft way to react and still stay friendly. Then we have "wow." It's just one word, but it's very strong. Use it when something is beautiful, impressive, or emotional. You see a sunset over the sea, and you softly say, "Wow." Or your friend tells you, "I passed all my exams," and you smile and say, "Wow. I'm really proud of you." Wow can be stretched for drama or whispered for effect. It always works. Now let's learn "seriously." This can express surprise, sympathy, or even a bit of frustration. It depends on your tone. If someone says, "I studied all night and still failed," you can say, "Seriously? That's not fair." Or if your sibling says, "Someone took my lunch again," you might respond with, "Seriously? That keeps happening?" It's flexible and natural. Another great phrase is, "That's awesome." This is for good news, something exciting, something worth celebrating. If your friend says, "I finally passed my driving test," you could say, "That's awesome! You did it." It's a warm, happy phrase that shows you're excited for the other person. Let's pause here and use these first 5 phrases in a short conversation. Imagine you and your friend are sitting at a small cafe. They lean in and say, "Guess what? I got a scholarship." You put down your cup and respond, "No way! That's amazing." They laugh and say, "I still can't believe it." You smile wide and say, "Wow, I'm really happy for you." You ask, "When did you find out?" They say, "Just this morning." You shake your head and say, "You're kidding. That's so cool." They laugh again. You finish with, "That's awesome. We should celebrate." Let's learn 5 more reaction phrases. First is, that's amazing. It's like awesome, but a little more powerful. You use it when you're truly impressed. For example, your friend says, I helped build a house this summer. And you reply, that's amazing. I had no idea. It sounds genuine and warm. Next is, oh no. This phrase is for small problems or when someone is having a tough moment. If your friend says, I dropped my phone in the sink, you can say, oh no, that's the worst. Or if someone says, I lost my keys, you respond, oh no. Again? It's a soft, kind reaction. Another phrase is, that's terrible. This is for more serious problems, things that are sad or upsetting. Your classmate says, my flight got canceled, and you say, that's terrible. Are you okay? Or someone says, my dog is really sick, and you say, that's terrible. I hope they feel better soon. It shows sympathy and care. Now let's try, I can't believe it. This one works for big surprises, both good and bad. It means, this is hard to imagine. If your cousin says, we're moving to Australia, you can say, I can't believe it, that's so far. Or your friend says, I failed again. And you say, I can't believe it. You studied so hard. It's a strong reaction that works in many situations. The last phrase for today is, that's so cool. It's friendly and relaxed. We use it when something is fun, interesting, or surprising in a good way. If your friend says, I'm learning how to paint, you say, that's so cool. Can I see your work? Or they say, I play the violin. And you say, that's so cool. I didn't know that. It's simple and positive. Let's end with one more short scene using these 5 new phrases. You're walking with your friend after school. They say, I have something to tell you. You say, what is it? They say, I'm going to Italy next month. You stop walking. Wow, that's amazing. They smile. My aunt invited me. You respond, that's so cool. Are you excited? They nod. A little nervous too. You say, I can't believe it. I've never been to Europe. They say, me neither. You both keep walking, talking about the trip. The conversation feels easy, friendly, and real. These small phrases make a big difference. They help your English feel alive. They show emotion. They build connection. And they make you sound like a real person, not a textbook. The best part is, they're easy to learn, easy to remember, and easy to use. Practice them out loud. Use them with friends. Try them when you hear someone share a story or some news. You'll start to feel more confident, more natural, and more connected. When you react with real emotion, your English becomes more than just words. It becomes human. Now that you know how to react in real conversations, let's take the next step. What if you agree with someone? Or what if you don't? How do you say it kindly, clearly, and naturally? That's what we'll explore next. Now let's keep going. You've learned how to react with real feeling. But conversations don't stop there. Sometimes you need to agree with someone. Other times, you have a different opinion. That's normal. That's real life. But how you agree or disagree, that matters. You don't want to sound too strong. You don't want to sound cold or rude. You want to sound natural, warm, respectful. And today, you'll learn how. Let's start with agreeing. Someone says something and you feel the same. You want to show them you understand, that you feel it too. A simple yes is okay, but there are better ways. The first phrase is exactly. It's short, strong, and very natural. You use it when someone says something you really agree with. For example, your classmate says, "Learning English takes time." You nod and say, "Exactly." It's step by step. Or your friend says, "I feel more tired in the winter." You say, "Exactly. These short days make me sleepy." It's like saying, "You're right. That's just what I think too." Another great phrase is, "That's so true." It's soft, friendly, and full of support. Imagine this. Your coworker says, "I feel like weekends go by too fast." You smile and reply, "That's so true. Monday comes too quickly." You're showing agreement, but in a warm, personal way. Now let's try totally. This is an informal word, but it's used often in casual conversation. It means, yes, 100%. If your friend says, "I love sleeping in on Sundays," you can say, "Totally. Sundays are for rest." It sounds relaxed and real. Sometimes you want to agree even more strongly. You can say, "I couldn't agree more." This one is powerful. It means, "I completely agree with you." For example, someone says, "Good friends make life better." You smile and say, "I couldn't agree more." It shows strong support and connection. Another one to try is, "That's right." It's simple and direct. Your teacher says, "Practice makes progress." And you say, "That's right." Or someone says, "You need sleep to think clearly." And you respond, "That's right." It's a quiet, natural way to say, "Yes, I agree." Now let's imagine a short conversation using some of these phrases. You and your friend are sitting in the park. They say, "The weather has been so weird lately." You nod and say, "That's so true. Hot one day, cold the next." They laugh and say, "It's like nature is confused." You reply, "Exactly. I never know what to wear." They smile and say, "We need a weather break." You say, "Totally." Now let's move to something a little harder. Disagreeing. What if you don't agree? What if your opinion is different? That's okay. People think in different ways. But it's important to speak kindly. You can disagree, but stay polite and respectful. That way the conversation stays friendly. Let's begin with, "I see your point, but..." This is a great phrase. You start by showing that you understand. Then you add your own view. For example, someone says, "I think everyone should wake up at 5 a.m. You smile and say, "I see your point, but I'm just not a morning person." You're not saying they're wrong. You're just sharing your truth. Another soft phrase is, "That might be true, but..." It's a gentle way to offer a different opinion. Your friend says, "Fast food is the best food." You can say, "That might be true for speed, but I like home-cooked meals more." It's calm, kind, and real. Try this next one. I get what you mean. This phrase shows empathy. You understand the other person, even if you don't agree fully. For example, someone says, I think online learning is better than classroom learning. You nod and say, I get what you mean. It's flexible, but I like face-to-face classes more. You're showing you listened, and then sharing your view. Another polite disagreement is, I'm not so sure about that. This one is soft and careful. You don't want to sound rude. You just want to say, maybe not. Your friend says, cats are better than dogs. You smile and say, I'm not so sure about that. I think dogs are more loyal. It's casual and kind. One more phrase to learn. We can agree to disagree. This is helpful when two people have very different opinions. It means, we don't need to fight. Let's stay friends. For example, someone says, pineapple on pizza is the best. You laugh and say, we can agree to disagree. It keeps the tone light and respectful. Let's build another short conversation. You and a classmate are walking home. They say, this new teacher is really strict. You laugh a little and say, exactly. She gave us homework on day 1. They say, but I think we'll learn a lot. You nod and say, that might be true. She explains things really well. You both smile. It's a real moment. Honest, but still friendly. Let's try one more. You're sitting with a group of friends. One says, I think social media is bad for people. You pause for a second and say, I see your point, but I think it depends on how we use it. Another friend adds, totally. I use it to keep in touch with family. Everyone nods. It's a real conversation, not a debate. That's the goal. These phrases are more than just words. They are tools. They help you sound confident, kind, and fluent. They help you agree with others in a friendly way. And they help you disagree without hurting anyone. That's what good English is all about. Not just words, but connection. Try practicing these phrases out loud. Imagine someone says something you agree with. Try exactly, or totally, or ma, that's so true. Then imagine they say something you don't agree with. Try, I see your point, but, or, I'm not so sure. The more you say them, the easier they become. And soon, they'll feel natural. You don't need to use every phrase every day. Just start with 1 or 2. Listen for them in movies, in videos, in real life. Try them when you talk with friends or teachers. Little by little, they become part of your voice. Now you know how to agree and disagree like a real English speaker. Let's take one more step. In real life, we often help others. And sometimes, we need help too. But how do you offer help politely? And how do you ask for it without sounding rude? That's what we'll explore next. Because offering and asking, that's everyday English too. Now that you know how to agree and disagree in a natural way, let's talk about something just as important: offering help and asking for help. In daily life, this happens all the time. Someone drops something. Someone looks tired. A friend is carrying a heavy bag. Or maybe you're the one who needs help. You want to say something, but how? You don't want to sound rude. You don't want to be too shy either. So today, you'll learn how to help politely and ask clearly, and all in simple, everyday English. Let's begin with offering help. This is when you see someone struggling and you want to be kind. One of the most natural ways to say it is, "Do you need a hand?" This phrase means, "Do you need help?" It's short, friendly, and often used when someone is physically doing something, like lifting boxes or carrying bags. For example, your classmate is carrying a lot of books. You walk up and say, "Do you need a hand with those?" They might smile and say, "Yes, please. That would be great." Another helpful phrase is, "Let me help you with that." This one shows you're ready to take action. You're not just asking, you're already starting to help. Imagine your coworker is setting up chairs for a meeting. Instead of just watching, you say, "Let me help you with that," and begin moving chairs. It shows kindness. It shows you care. Sometimes the person might not look like they need help, but you still want to offer. In that case, you can say, "Let me know if you need anything." This phrase is soft and open. You're offering help without pressure. Maybe your friend is studying for a big test. Before you leave, you say, "Let me know if you need anything." It gives them space, but also support. Now let's imagine a short conversation. Your friend is trying to carry groceries up the stairs. You see them struggling and say, "Do you need a hand with those?" They laugh. "Yes, please. I brought way too much again." You take a few bags and say, "Happens to me every time. Never shop when you're hungry." They smile. "You're a lifesaver." Thanks. This is real, simple English. Nothing fancy. Just kind words and real moments. Now let's change sides. What if you need help? It can feel a little scary to ask. You don't want to bother anyone. But the truth is, asking politely shows strength, not weakness. It shows you know how to communicate clearly and kindly. One of the best phrases to use is, "Would you mind?" This is very polite and very common. Let's say your printer at work is jammed. You turn to someone and say, "Would you mind showing me how to fix this?" It's soft. It's respectful. You're not demanding. You're asking. Another great one is, "Could you do me a favor?" This is a friendly way to ask for help, especially when you know the other person well. For example, you're writing an email in English and you want someone to check it. You say, "Hey, could you do me a favor and read this before I send it?" You're not just saying, "Help me." You're inviting them in a warm way. You can also say, "Do you think you could?" This phrase is light and gentle. For example, your friend has a car and your bike tire is flat. You call and say, "Do you think you could give me a ride after class?" It's casual, it's calm, and it's very natural. Let's try a scene where you're the one asking for help. You're having trouble writing a report. Your friend is good at editing. You ask, "Could you do me a favor?" They say, "Sure. What's up?" You hold out your laptop and say, "Can you take a quick look at this? I want to make sure it sounds natural." They nod. "Of course. Let's fix it together." You both sit down and work side by side. A simple moment, but full of connection. Here's another situation. You're stuck with a new app on your phone. You turn to your brother and say, "Would you mind helping me figure this out?" He takes your phone and says, "What's it doing?" You reply, "It keeps freezing when I open it." He smiles. "No problem. I'm the tech support guy today." You both laugh. Again, real English. Natural, friendly, and clear. Let's go one more. You're supposed to meet your friend, but your bike is broken. You call and say, "Hey, do you think you could give me a ride?" They say, "Sure, where are you?" You answer, "Outside my place. I'll wait near the corner." They reply, "Cool, I'll be there in 5. It's a short exchange, but it's real life. And it feels easy when you use the right words. These small phrases can open big doors. They help you speak with confidence. They help you connect with people. And they make your English feel warm, helpful, and human. Try using 1 or 2 this week. If someone looks like they need help, try, "Do you need a hand?" If you feel stuck, try, "Would you mind helping me?" Or, "Could you do me a favor?" Say it with a smile. Let the words come from a real place. People feel that. And when someone helps you, don't forget to say thank you. A simple, "Thanks so much. I really appreciate it," goes a long way. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. English isn't just about speaking, it's about sharing moments. And these moments of help, of support, they're a big part of everyday life. Now you've learned how to offer help and ask for it in natural English. So what's next? Well, sometimes we feel things: happiness, stress, honesty, or disappointment. And we want to express those feelings clearly, naturally, and kindly. In the next video, we'll explore how to speak from the heart in simple, emotional English. Because real life isn't always perfect, but your words can still feel real. That's all for today. Stay tuned for more lessons.